Hello, I am Janie Buckland with the West Virginia Pew Families United for Education. I'm joined today by Frank Schaner. We are going to be talking about science today, a topic which many homeschoolers are incredibly intimidated by. I'm excited to hear more from Frank and have him share about his company, Home Science Tools. Frank, welcome. Thanks for carving out time to be with us today. Why don't we get started by you just telling us a little bit about yourself and how Home Science Tools came to be?
I'm a chemical engineer by training. I worked about 15 years in the oil refining industry. Then my wife and I wanted to figure out a way to help homeschool families. We were homeschooling our kids at the time and realized that a lot of families struggled with science. Most parents didn't have a science background, and it was almost impossible to find the different equipment and supplies you needed to actually do the hands-on labs. One of our beliefs is that hands-on science is really essential to the development of any child. It helps them develop critical thinking skills and other skills that they're going to use for the rest of their life. We started Home Science Tools 30 years ago with the goal of providing the equipment and materials that are needed, but also providing other products like kits that support different science curriculum out there. Our own line of science kits allow you to teach and do hands-on experiments of almost any science topic. And then more recently, our own full K through 12 science curriculum.
I'm so excited for our viewers to hear more about that. I will confess that I was the homeschool mom who, when I needed to gather a ball of string, a paper clip, a pencil, a matchbox car, I could never quite identify all of the items that I would need to carry out, and I would procrastinate. And then at the end of the year, we would do 20 experiments trying to cram them all in. We've used home science tools in our academies that we've offered for families. Tell us a little bit about who you serve. Is it the individual families, hybrid schools, micro schools? Talk a little bit about who the audience is that your company can serve.
It's really everyone, to be honest. The company was started specifically with how do we help homeschool families and homeschool co-ops. But through our web presence, we've grown over the years. We have everyone using us, from charter schools, private schools, public schools. We have large school districts ordering. We have schools that have a remote learning element to them ordering. Our products are helping kids at K through 12 across any sort of schooling or learning method.
When we spoke before, you were talking specifically about the different programs that families or schools may be using, whether it's Abeka or Bob Jones. I mentioned that we use Novare. Can you talk a little bit about how you remove that scavenger hunt for the teachers by providing those kits?
That was one of the key things that we were focused on when we started the business 30 years ago. We had just done that for our own sixth grader. We provide the material kits, the lab kits that go along with most of the science curriculum out there, and they're course specific. So Novari chemistry, we have a kit for. Apology of biology, we have a kit for. One of our goals is we want to make it easy for parents to teach science, so they spend their time actually doing science with their kids rather than trying to find all those materials that are very time consuming to locate.
And so let's talk a little bit more about how you're serving these different audiences. Tell us more about Science Unlocked, this new curriculum, and how it isn't necessarily like other curricula in that it's not a textbook. Tell us a little bit about the framework for that curriculum.
Science Unlocked was created with homeschool families in mind. Our whole goal there was, how do we make a science product that has exceptional results, kids love it, and it's easy to teach right out of the box. Because of our belief that hands-on science is so important, we made Science Unlocked a modular hands-on science curriculum, which means that the hands-on activities aren't add-ons. The curriculum is really structured around those hands-on activities. The curriculum was modeled after the next generation science standards, which as homeschoolers, none of us like these standards, but the reality is that next generation science standards were developed over a period of almost 10 years, and they're really the most comprehensive science standards out there. So we developed Science Unlocked not only to meet that, but to exceed that. It's designed with 3 learning levels. Our Wonder level is K through 2, Accelerate is 3 through 7, and Launch is 8 through 12. And it allows homeschool families a great flexibility in terms of how they use the product. It can be a standalone curriculum. That's all I do for a year. It can be a topical. I want to dig deep into this topic, and I want to go through successive levels of that because my child's interested in chemistry. So we're just going to focus on chemistry. It can be pick and choose topics to go along with a unit study approach that you're using. It can be a design your own where, hey, I want to pick and choose what we do in the order we do it. And because of the modular nature of it, you can actually do that. It's flexible in that because of the levels, it's designed for children of different ages, but I can even use an advanced level for younger kids. Let's say I have a high school child and a 6th grader. I could teach them both the Accelerate level because we have tips in our teacher's manual of how to adapt it for younger kids and even kids with different abilities.
That's wonderful. I feel like for a lot of families, the intimidation of science, the mess of getting things all together, it can be intimidating. Knowing that all of that kind of guesswork has been done for us in putting it together can make all the difference in someone actually getting those assignments done and getting those experiments done. I wonder if you have a story or an example, maybe even from schooling your own children, and just how you've seen these kits really be that game changer for families or for schools.
Lots of stories. One of the ones that I love to hear is when a homeschool parent tells us, hey, I'm homeschooling my kid, and we used your products when I was homeschooled 20 years ago or whenever it was. And we get those stories from people now that are engineers and scientists and teachers as well. Hey, I remembered using your products and it really made a difference in my life. That's really what we're trying to accomplish. We have another story where through Science Unlocked, we were able to help a child with cancer who was limited to staying at home. And our Science Unlocked product enabled her to learn everything she needed during that period of time. It doesn't matter why you're teaching at home or in a co-op or in the classroom, our products are adaptable to that. And we like to say anyone can teach them. It doesn't matter what your background is. We truly design them so that they can be used by anyone.
Thank you so much for making the time to talk with us today for our viewers to learn more about home science tools. We will drop all of the contact information on how our viewers can find your products and order. For those of you who are watching who are in West Virginia, keep in mind that Home Science Tools is available within the portal for the Hope Scholarship program. And I am sure they're also participating in other states as well.
We are. And thank
Yeah.
you, Jamie.
Thank you. And I appreciate all that you're doing to serve homeschooling families. Thanks so much for being with us.